Welcome to the Ben Willett Team Real Estate Referral Spotlight. Today I'm joined by a good friend and client, Luke Fleury of Fleury Properties, a development and building company based in Aquidneck Island. Luke and I have been friends for a long time, going back to Portsmouth High School.
Yeah,
First met his freshman year, my junior year, and have been friends and colleagues since. Thank you for joining us. Pleasure to have you
absolutely.
on the pod
Happy to
today.
be here.
So first, I just want to give you a big congratulations on your career over the past 5 years, Luke.
Thank you.
Maybe a little longer. How long have you been doing this?
About 7 or 8 years
7 or 8 years
now.
now, and I think we've been working together for about 5 or 6.
Yeah,
But I remember hearing the story about how you first started doing your first flip when you were right out of college, like $100,000 or something like that, and it's turned
yeah,
into obviously multi-million dollar deals and developments. So watching your career grow and just taking bigger and bigger chances and betting on yourself and watching all the things able to help more people in the community and everything has been inspiring. So just want to first congratulate you on that.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So first off, Luke, I know you wear many hats in the real estate industry. Like anybody with a license or without a license, there's a lot of different fields within the industry. Being a flipper, being a wholesaler, being a realtor, doing buying and selling for the end users. There's so many different fields within the industry. But tell us a little bit about how you got your start, how that's kind of evolved to where you are now, and what you actually enjoy best about the whole process that you do and you focus on.
Yeah, so I mean, like you said, obviously when I started, it was just one deal, sub $100,000, one deal a year. Obviously now the deal flows a lot more, deal size is a lot more too, to doing, a dozen multi-million dollar deals a year. But as far as the arms in real estate that you mentioned, that's why real estate to me is so engaging because there is so many different arms. And obviously starting off as just a flipper, then I got into general contracting, transitioned into now more of a developer. But of course, getting into the wholesaling, even opening up financing for new buyers, getting into the landlord sector of things. So I've definitely expanded my reach in real estate, which is definitely what keeps me so engaged now.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's as a person focusing on the end user primarily, having my own, looking at deals for myself and everything like that. There's so many different things, and also educating
Hmm.
others. Like you mentioned, I know you've been able to bring more people into the business to do what you're doing, who see what you do, obviously are inspired by it, but a lot of friends, mutual friends even as well, that you're able to show them the ropes and get them involved in the industry as well, which is super powerful. What would you say out of all those different fields, arms that you are involved with, is your favorite and actually allows you to, engage the most in?
I'd say the most fun part, I guess, for me is probably the deal flow. I think you could probably attest to this too, that, no matter the size of the deal, whether it's a small one or a big one, it's the same gratification you get. For me, the most rewarding part is definitely bringing in a new investor. That's what keeps me the most engaged. Someone who sees what I'm doing, wants to get into investing in real estate. I find them a deal, I help them with the budget. I create, a new client, new friend, and then they continue to buy for me. I've then referred several of those people to you for you to sell for them on the back end. So I think just putting together deals for me is definitely the most fun and rewarding part.
Yeah, networking side of things, the personal connections,
Yeah,
and making connections that last, more than just a deal, but good dinners, sporting
exactly.
events, meeting each other's families, things like that,
Right.
super important. The only way you do that is by doing a good product, serving people the right way. I know you've built a strong name as a high-end builder and developer on the island, but I understand you're expanding as well. Can you touch on that and kind of
Yeah.
what that has brought you
Yeah,
for so
definitely.
far?
I mean, I've definitely expanded into the wholesale game a lot over the past couple years, which basically is, I'm locking up different deals and selling those deals to other investors. So I've expanded into that quite a bit. I've also trying to expand into new markets and trying to reach out into Boston, do some condo conversions and things like that up there. And I'm also working with a couple of my real estate partners in creating a hard money real estate fund for other investors who want to come in and have access to capital.
Yeah, that's really smart. There's a big need for that right now, especially where interest rates are and things like that,
Exactly.
and getting opportunities to find deals off market, which you're very good at as well, is certainly a value add to anybody in the flipping and investment side of the industry.
Totally.
So congratulations on that. Looking forward to
Thank
what you're
you.
doing with that, and keep me in tune. I'd love to be
Of course, you know
part of your
you're always my
opportunity.
first message,
Yeah, I
so
appreciate that. And having done multiple deals together, several a year for the past several years, I can attest to many clients that have bought a property from you. A couple years later, seeing huge appreciation because you've done it so well, turnkey, things like that. Um, when it comes to your style, in terms of when you're actually developing and doing the renovations yourself, what would you say is your style? And then also, if you had a few tips to homeowners that are looking to build a new house or do a big renovation, what would those be?
I'd say my style is contemporary for sure. I like to obviously keep a similar theme on all my properties because I know they're selling, so obviously why break what's not broken. And I like them to stand out. People recognize my property, from the different design aspects. But as far as a new homeowner, if it's an investor looking to buy a home, I'd say design the house to appeal to the masses, not just yourself, unless you're going to be the one buying the home. So that's number one. Number two, I think for both the investor or an end user is outdoor space is a huge value add. You really can't put a number on it. If the house doesn't have a pool, but you end up doing a nice outdoor kitchen that only costs you, 5 grand, that's going to add a substantial amount of value. A lot of people are looking to just get inside a house, but what can they experience on the outside of the house too?
Yep.
Um, so I would say, those are probably the two.
Yeah, that can definitely set you apart, that outside space.
Yeah,
As a realtor, when we're looking at square footage and price per square foot,
exactly.
and comparing quality, the outdoor space sometimes gets kind of overlooked.
Right,
It's at least by kind of the in the comps. So it takes a good agent to add that value to show the people the value, and the buyers really do feel it. They need to be inside that space.
exactly.
So that can be huge in the that lasting impact that the buyer has,
Yeah.
where they can picture themselves in a space.
Right.
So
Especially comp wise, like you said, even me when I'm going to sell a property, if I know, the highest threshold I can get, well, what do I have to do to get above that threshold, by doing some outdoor features,
yeah,
things like that.
yeah.
So
So Luke, being in business for, like you said, about 7 or 8 years, obviously, I'm sure you've had your fair share of hurdles or challenges along the way.
mhm.
What are a few things that you've learned throughout this process that have made your business more successful today?
Definitely budgeting. I'd say anybody at their trade's always learning, whether you're an expert or a novice,
Yep.
you're always learning. But budgeting is key. If you're looking to be a developer and you come in, underwriting deals is extremely important. Some people really want to get their feet wet and they try to make the numbers work, even though if they can't really get them
Yep.
to. So definitely be super conservative with your budgets. Don't shoot for being the highest selling price on the street. Obviously, now I can kind of do that because I have the reputation and stuff here. But to start out, if you're not budgeting enough and it's your first deal, it can really make or break you.
Right.
And then just networking, like at the end of the day, no matter how good you are at something, somebody out there knows something that you don't. So
Absolutely.
always trying to expand your knowledge and network and learn from other people
Exactly.
around you.
Having that learner's kind of mentality
Yeah,
is super important. You got to have the hustler's mentality to go out there and find it and make opportunities happen for yourself.
definitely.
But no matter how long you're in this game, there's something to learn,
Exactly.
and people who've been doing it longer to learn from.
Right.
So that's a great mentality, especially when you're starting to have success and people are looking for you in advice. Still having the mentality that there's room
Yeah,
for
I mean,
improvement.
look at even like LeBron James and people, they're still learning and
Absolutely.
practicing different things, and you can never be too good at what
Right.
you're doing.
Absolutely. Learned a lot, experienced a lot so far. Where would you say the future of Fleury Properties is, and where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Definitely just expanding my deal flow, deal size as I've done year over year. Want to get into new markets, as I mentioned before. Starting that real estate fund, I really want to create a capital fund, get into the lending side of the industry, and I'm just really looking to network and grow my connections with
Yep.
people in the industry over the next 5 years.
Well, that networking is really what takes it to the next level. Meeting new people,
Totally.
um, people with those experiences, and likewise that we've mentioned. Out of the 7 years that I've been in business, seen thousands of homes, worked with a ton of different clients, and I will say that being in your properties, watching it start from a demo project all the way to completion and have happy customers at the end. Some of the nicest homes I've been in,
I appreciate
some of the
that.
most well designed I've seen as well. So it's been a pleasure watching and working with you over the past few years, and I can't thank you enough for the opportunity to help. And I thank you for the opportunity to come in and speak with you and
Thank
add
you.
a little bit of value to our clients and
Absolutely.
people watching. So
I'm looking forward to doing much more business over the next few years together.
awesome.
So
Thank you, sir. Have a great rest of your day, and
thanks for
thank
having
you
me,
for
Ben.
joining the Ben Willett team of Frill Spotlight. Till next time, take care.